If you've pumped hundreds of millions of pounds into a Formula One team, hired 2 world champion drivers, recruited championship-winning designers, and invested in state-of-the-art facilities, you expect a big return on that investment. It's rarely that simple in F1, but the worrying trend, a repeat trend at that, Aston Martin's performance is going to seriously test the patience of its billionaire owner Lawrence Stroll. Stroll wanted the team to close on Red Bull's A team this year, but instead, it's now in danger of being overhauled by Red Bull's B team.
The team members shaking even because they were so excited.
You are happy now? You're happy not in Alpine?
Fernando Alonso issued a warning to the underperforming Aston Martin Formula One team after finishing outside the points in the Spanish Grand Prix. His message was clear: it's time to work harder, to talk less, to deliver more. However, the team also finished outside the points in Austria, marking another poor performance for the Silverstone-based outfit. While there's no questioning the hard work of those at Aston Martin, Alonso is correct in highlighting that the car's performance improvements are insufficient. Although the car was among the 4 fastest based on single-lap pace in each of the first 5 races, its performance has since fluctuated between 5th and 9th. There are upgrades coming, most likely for the Hungarian Grand Prix, but while Alonso expressed some optimism, he also fired a warning shot about the stuttering progress of his team. "I'm looking forward to the upgrades, but we've been upgrading the car a lot and we didn't deliver the result," said Alonso. So now it's also a matter of whatever we bring to the track. It does deliver what we expect and we start getting better and better. So we need to work hard, get better every race, but without too much talking and promising. Aston Martin had a solid enough start to the season, albeit nowhere near the level it was at in 2023 when Alonso claimed 6 podiums in the first 8 races before inevitably finding the going harder as others improved. There were top 6 finishes in 3 of the 4 races, and generally it was dicing with McLaren to be the 4th fastest. There were some particularly eye-catching qualifying performances in a car that worked its tyres well on prep laps and produced good grip for a single attacking lap. It has meandered into more mediocre territory since then, save for the mini revival in Canada where it bagged its biggest haul of points for the year with 14, thanks to Alonso and Lance Stroll finishing 6th and 7th. That was on a track which favoured the car's characteristics. But the Aston Martin doesn't work well in long, fast corners and, according to Alonso, lacks downforce. As always with the current generation of F1 cars, generating substantial downforce from the powerful Venturi tunnels is relatively straightforward. However, the real skill lies in achieving this in a controlled manner, without causing bouncing or porpoising, while also maintaining a good balance through managing characteristics such as the aero center of pressure. Over the past year or so, Aston Martin's efforts to enhance the car and broaden its performance window have generally made it more challenging to drive. It is weird that Aston Martin seems capable of building a decent car over the winter but gets lost when making in-season updates. This raises questions about whether the driver's feedback is lacking, or if the engineers struggle to interpret it. So it is perhaps that the 2 drivers need very different setups. Typically, the car is developed around the needs of the faster driver. Here, that role is without a doubt belonging to Alonso, but is Lance Stroll hindering the team to that extent that it negates whatever Alonso does? Yes, Alonso signed a new contract, knowing the seat wasn't ideal. Some say he isn't a great development driver and that cars regress over time when he's the focus, and we know that Vettel had input into the 2023 AMR. However, after the 2023 upgrades, they've also regressed. To be fair, Mercedes, McLaren and Ferrari also stumbled early in 2023. Now that they have developed, Aston Martin is mid-grid, with Alpine being a simply bad team until Briatore took over. And Alonso's relationship with Aston Martin began much like his stints with McLaren, Ferrari and Alpine. Initially, everything was progressing well. However, after encountering a few bumps in the road, the team's performance dipped below expectations. Crucially, he was no longer outperforming Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton. Alonso might still be content if the gap to the frontrunners remained the same, but Aston Martin was still ahead of Mercedes. However, seeing McLaren emerge as genuine frontrunners, Ferrari winning a race, Mercedes seemingly mastering the regulations, and even Alpine, the team he left, now outperforming Aston Martin despite their internal chaos, has left Alonso frustrated. And when he is frustrated, he typically does three things. He doesn't hold back his opinions, he uses the media to send messages, and he utilizes in-car radio broadcasts to create sound bites. Alonso is a driver who has spent much of his career watching others succeed, knowing that with the right car he could be just as capable as 99% of the grid. Yet he never seems to get the right car, or if he does, the team fails to maintain its development. In all but the Renault part of his career, had Alonso simply waited and bided his time, he might have ended up with a car fast enough to challenge for wins. Hopefully, he can wait long enough to make the most of Aston Martin as the regulations change for 2026. But Aston Martin simply have to improve. If Aston Martin's slump during the second half of 2023 wasn't enough to test the patience of its uber-ambitious owner Lawrence Stroll and the rest of the board, its stuttering performance in 2024 surely will. Stroll is invested in a 400,000 square foot F1 campus, including the Silverstone-based outfit's first ever wind tunnel, as currently they're still using Mercedes' wind tunnel, a state-of-the-art simulator, and a design, manufacturing, and marketing hub. The 2025 car will be the first to benefit from the new wind tunnel, but the campus opened mid-last year and should be helping with the 2024 car as well. Additionally, the simulator was scheduled to come online in early 2024. However, Stroll will be expecting results before all these new facilities come fully into play, along with the Works Honda engine deal starting in 2026. With Aston Martin struggling, it's worth considering who might be held accountable if Stroll decides to address the issue. F1's recent high turnover of team bosses and senior technical personnel means that there's no shortage of potential replacements for any of Aston Martin's leading figures. Last week, the Italian magazine La Gazzetta dello Sport reported that ex-Ferrari F1 boss Mattia Binotto was in talks with Aston Martin, now that his period of Ferrari gardening leave is believed to have ended. This wouldn't necessarily involve Binotto becoming Aston's new team boss. Instead, he could lead the technical department, possibly slotting in above Dan Fallows. Binotto has made multiple appearances in F1 paddocks since his departure from Ferrari and seems keen on a new project, but he also has plenty of potential options outside of Aston Martin. Any technical recruitment made this year will be crucial for the team's prospect for the start of F1's new car and engine rules in 2026. So don't expect Stroll to hesitate before making the moves he deems necessary to ensure that Aston Martin delivers results to match his investment. The team has showed improvements but have since slid backwards, and this isn't what Alonso signed up for, according to his statement in early 2023 when he said the team's aspirations are to fight for the title. Because once you've tasted winning, as Alonso did in 2005, 2006, and even later in his Ferrari years, battling for a fifth-place finish isn't satisfying anymore. And the worst part is that he's essentially stuck with what he has or must retire once again. What do you think? Will Aston Martin improve at any point this season, or will the team basically sacrifice even 2025 to focus on the 2026 and the start of the Honda partnership along with the new regulations? Let us know in the comments down below, and we will see you in the next video.